Kevin Gehl, voice of the Crusaders, and this is Satyr Stories, the official podcast of Holy Cross Athletics. On this episode, we highlight civic engagement by Holy Cross student athletes. As part of the Aspire plan for the college, it's all about celebrating opportunities for Holy Cross community members to experience and learn in Worcester, and that's been a key pillar. This includes student internships, research, and service to the community. Holy Cross has been following the lead of Civic Engagement Day around college athletics, which has specifically been on Election Day, but Holy Cross has taken it a step further, expanding the concept to focus on community service as a year-round process. To tell us more now about this great initiative, I'm pleased to be joined by Holy Cross men's rowing student athlete Wilson Langkamp. Wilson, thanks so much for joining us, and welcome to Satyr Stories.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. So you're a DC native and a political science major. You're probably the perfect person to start with on this pod. What does the initiative of civic engagement mean to you?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So I guess I can start with what my team did. We were excited to help out at an elementary school in Worcester, Rice Square Elementary. I had the entire team. Not a single guy missed it. We went down on election day and helped out. It was great. I think civic engagement is really important, especially at a Jesuit institution like Holy Cross. I went to a Jesuit high school as well. We really focused on getting out there in the community, helping out people in need, etc. So I think building on that as a team is really important, and I really love that Holy Cross Athletics highlights that.
Let's talk a little bit more about your project. Each Holy Cross athletic team hosted a unique community outreach project. You and your rowers led school painting and cleanup at Rice Square Elementary in Worcester. That was on Election Day, November 4th. What was your day like giving back, and what did you enjoy most about that day?
Yeah, it was really a great opportunity. I had previously visited Rice Square Elementary on a class trip for one of my education classes. It was kind of like a CBL, community-based learning project, and we visited schools in Worcester. And while I was there, I realized there were many small projects, that a school like Rice Square could really use a group of 40 to 50 college guys just to help out with. It was super minimum, um, like very easy tasks, but for us to be there and help them with, it was huge. So I got in contact with the principal and I asked, "Hey, I have a group of guys. We'd love to help out. What can we do?" And he got back to me right away and said, "Wilson, we would really appreciate it." So it was great. Let's see, we got there first thing Tuesday morning, and we split up into groups. Some guys, uh, they had a bunch of furniture they needed us to move. We moved a massive piano downstairs, which they said had been there for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, they had a. I guess it's hard to get stuff like that done through the system. I'm not sure, but we got it out of there in like 15 minutes. So it was exciting. Um, there was a bunch of other things. A group of guys cleaned up outside, a lot of like trash cleanup and property cleanup around the school, just to make it nice and inviting for students, families, faculty, staff, etc. A bunch of guys also were inside helping. They had a bunch of cabinets they needed to be built. So it was good. It was great. The custodians helped out, kind of led us around. They're a joy to work with. Super nice guys. And the principal, I really want to give him a shout out. He was really nice, and super welcoming and very accommodating. So we were happy to help.
That's amazing. People are so often focused on donating money to a cause, which is great, focusing on bigger picture issues. But sometimes it's just people power in the community doing the jobs that are time consuming. So give me an idea. I mean, obviously, you're such a finely tuned machine on the water as a rowing crew, but how did you work together as a crew on campus?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I think being rowing is such a it's not individualized at all. I'm rowing with seven other guys, including our coxswain, so nine guys in a boat. Um, and you have to be going as one. I think that makes us a really strong team. Um, for civic engagement and community involvement, I think we're all ready to go together. Guys are willing to help and step in when they can. There's no like, oh, you can't tell me to do this. There's no bossing around like that. I think everyone knows that we're there working together as a team. Yeah.
Following that experience and that great working unity that you had, how would you like to see your rowing team stay involved in community service? How would you like to, repeat this experience?
I actually really want to go back to Rice Square Elementary. I think it definitely has to do with my background in education as an education minor, but the Worcester Public Schools are in need of a lot of help, and it, like you said, it doesn't always come from funding. It comes from just the manpower. When I reached out to the principal, I asked like, "Is there anything you want us to bring to make it easier? I can try to get funding from the school." And he's like, "Wilson, all we need is your manpower. Like that's all we need. That's huge for us." So I think as a team that has so many guys, we have a huge roster. And everyone on our team is excited to get out there. So I would be I'm going to be in contact with him and hopefully other people around the Worcester area, other schools especially, are in need of just guys who can come and help when they need help. Like that's really all I'm looking to do.
That's great to hear. I love how you took the initiative at Rice Square Elementary, and I love that you're building a relationship there that's going to continue. Lastly, Wilson, before we let you go, Holy Cross men's rowing just wrapped up the fall competition schedule, including at the head of the Charles, as represented by your banner there. What do the winter months ahead look like for you and your team as you prep for the busy spring competition season ahead?
So yeah, winter is it's a love-hate relationship with rowers. Obviously our sport's on the water, but when it gets too cold, we got to head indoors. So I think it's a lot of our coach really ingrains this into us. It's discipline, toughness, ownership. Those are our three big rules, big guidelines for our team. And I think that our team has really like just bought into that mindset. It gets cold here. It gets hard. You don't want to go to practice. You don't want to be indoors when you're supposed to be out on the water, obviously. So having the discipline to go to practice and keep up in those cold winter months is big. I think it's also good. I think discipline, toughness, ownership also helps us get out in the community more.
Yes.
Quite frankly, I think guys understand that they have to be there no matter what it takes. And yeah, it's great.
Wilson Langkamp, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you setting an example, getting involved in the community, and being part of Civic Engagement Day. And we'll look forward to seeing you and your teammates back out on the water in the spring.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. It was great to see you. Let's take a quick break. When we get back here on Satyr Stories, we'll learn more about community service projects here at Holy Cross.
Leadership and excellence in competition, in the classroom, in the community. For decades, Crusader Athletics has focused on our topmost commitment, elevating every student athlete to reach for more, to grow more, to achieve more. Help us to continue to strengthen minds, build character, and celebrate together as one Crusader nation. Because when we commit together, we win together. Join us, Crusaders together.
I'm Kevin Gehl, voice of the Crusaders, and this is Satyr Stories, the official podcast of Holy Cross Athletics. On this episode, we're highlighting Civic Engagement Day, with Holy Cross student athletes. Our next guest is Booie Blazak from Crusader Women's Lacrosse. Her team participated in a day of exercise with the Boys and Girls Club, a great initiative. Booie, thanks so much for joining us and welcome to Satyr Stories.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Let's start with how your team first got involved and found out about this day of exercise.
Sure. So we have a bunch of community or committees on our team. So social media committee, equipment committee, et cetera. And we've always had community service committee as an option to join. And had the opportunity to join this this fall that we just had. And so we haven't done too much in the past. We have always heard from our teammates, and we've heard that we want to be doing more in the community. We just haven't been able to really like break through and get it done. So this fall we put a really strong kind of an initiative to get out into the community and to participate more in what we've been wanting to do for a while. So we meet once a week. I'm on the committee this year, and we kind of just talk about some different opportunities on Helper that we could get into. And this Civic Engagement Day we found through a opportunity on Helper. I believe we have some girls on our team that do it weekly, so it goes beyond just Civic Engagement Day. We have people doing this all the time. But yeah, so we decided that we would pick this Civic Engagement Day as a day to everyone who's just going to go for an hour. Some girls even went for 2 hours of the day. They went back for a second session. And basically, we just found that we got there. The director was amazing, so nice. He was just made it very clear that they were so happy to have us there. Very happy to have us participating in the community. And then we then kind of split up into our different groups. I was in the computer room playing games with some kids. Some girls were helping out with homework. We had a couple girls playing basketball, playing knockout, just a bunch of different activities. And I think it just honestly, like we see a lot of impact on the field, and I think in the community at Holy Cross, but we don't often think about how we are just kind of in this bubble all the time. And I think like being able to get off and make an impact beyond the field and beyond the classroom is something that we've really been trying to strive for this year as a team. And I think also just as an athletic community as a whole at Holy Cross. But I think it kind of just shows like we went in there, these kids were so happy to see us. It was awesome. Like I think that it was so rewarding, not just for them, but also for us as a team. And I think it just brought a lot of energy and a lot of joy to those kids. And I think that it strengthened, honestly, our team's purpose. And I'm happy that we all enjoyed it. And I hope we all get to go back at some point.
I love hearing about these committees on your
Yeah,
team and how you're focused on expanding the reach of the program, really well rounding out how all of you student athletes are engaging not just with the campus but with the community. So give me an idea, what are the age range of these kids and how do you feel like they best connected with you? What were the conversations like and how did you kind of bridge that age gap?
totally. So we started out in this room where all the kids were kind of just eating breakfast. It was election day. So a lot of them were there just to hang out for the day. And there were I talked to kids in kindergarten. I also talked to kids in fifth grade. And then there were a couple teenagers there. There was a teen room that we were able to go to. So those were probably 13, 14, maybe 15 years old. But yeah, so it was just so cool. I'm sorry. But we get there and immediately walk in and the director, I'm blanking on his name now, but he kind of just tells us to walk around, spread out, and talk to as many kids as you can, because he told us that it's oftentimes, like he said, if you have any like behavioral issues, like just come up to me. It's not often like what's going on in their mental brain. It's like what's going on at home. It's what's going on at school. So we didn't have any of those situations, but we were very aware of it. And I think the awareness there also really grounded us as a whole, like knowing that these kids have some different like disparities to us in our lives, not just in age, but also in, home situation, et cetera. But yeah, so we get there, we were able to split up into different rooms. I went into this gaming room and I was playing video games with probably 10 kids. They were all sitting at computers. And they were like some of the sweetest kids I've ever met, really. One of the little boys, I was watching him play a game. I don't remember what it was, but he was just playing a game and I was just watching him and he was like, "Oh, you try, you try." So I was able to like get in there and kind of play the game, but it's also just so awesome to see like how kind they really were. And it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be to kind of relate to younger kids because I've never like babysat or anything like that, so I didn't really know what I was getting myself
Mm.
into. But I got there and it was just like honestly really cool to be able to connect with people that I have nothing in common with. Obviously not my age, and most of the people I feel like I interact with here are athletes. So it's just it was a complete flip of what I'm used to. And I think it was so rewarding to be able to connect with these kids at a level that I don't connect with a lot of people at Holy Cross with. So it was really cool.
When we were talking with the rowing team, they mentioned that they would like to continue their efforts with their specific school,
Yeah.
with the specific programs that we've worked with. As a member of your Women's Lacrosse Community Service Committee, what are your plans going forward to stay involved in the community and keep building experiences like this for you and your teammates?
Yeah. So we set the goal at the beginning of the year that everyone should aim for at least 10 community service hours for the year. And in the past, we haven't even come close to this. We've had maybe one or two per year because we
Mhm.
just get so caught up in everything that's a student athlete. And we end up not meeting with committee as much as we'd like to. And then it all just kind of falls apart. So this year, as I said, we're really trying to hone in on getting it done and everyone's finally learned how to log everything in helper and we're getting our hours in. Like I said, we have some girls that are doing weekly or bi-weekly events at the Boys and Girls Club or in other locations on and off campus. But we do want to aim to get in all of these hours. We have meetings so we can plan these things. So we did the Halloween 5K run and helped out there. We have done a community cleanup. And I think just like being very aware of what's available to us because I think that being able to not only balance schoolwork and athletics, which is something that we already do, and that kind of does teach us this discipline and like a time management skill that not a lot of people are fortunate enough to get. Um, but I think also the community service piece kind of adds more of a perspective that we don't get. And so I think that we've all agreed upon this. Our whole team is very into it, which is so awesome to see. But yeah, we're getting ready to over our spring break, which we stay on campus for. We're gonna definitely engage in something during that. We come back a little early from Christmas break, so whenever we have some time where we're not swamped with schoolwork and athletics, we're gonna get our hours in, and it's something that a lot of people might think that it's kind of a drag having to go and do this, but especially after the Boys and Girls Club opportunity, it's really proven to be something that we all really benefit from.
That's incredible. I'm so glad you're taking ownership over it, pushing for more hours, building more of these experiences, and finding the time to make it happen because you're all so busy. And
Yeah.
that lacrosse season always sneaks up. We're already into
Yes.
November, and I just found out your team is opening the new season January 24th. So, not much time after the holidays to get ready.
No.
What's the outlook for you and your team heading into this new season?
I think we're looking really, really good. I think we lost some really valuable players last year, seniors, but I think that the rest of the team has really brought it this year. I think we're pushing harder than we ever have. We've gotten into 8-hour weeks this year for the remainder of the fall. And so that means we aren't really practicing for 8 hours instead of 20, but those 8 hours we're going hard, we're trying hard. We're coming back a few days earlier than usual for Christmas break, just to get a couple more days in before that early game that you mentioned. But yeah, I think we're all just really excited. We're excited to get out there.
And we're excited to see you guys back out there running around in the snow. You are tough.
Yes.
We're always inspired by the work you guys put in the dead of
Yeah.
winter.
Yes. Yeah. Not really a spring sport.
Not quite, not at least when it starts. Booie Blazak, thank you
Yeah.
so much. It was great to meet you. And thanks
Yes.
again
Great
for
to meet you.
sharing your experience. Best of luck to you and your teammates as you
Thank you.
continue your civic engagement.
Thank you so much.
Let's take one last break. Plenty more to come on Civic Engagement Day. This is Sader Stories.
Leadership and excellence in competition, in the classroom, in the community. For decades, Crusader Athletics has focused on our topmost commitment, elevating every student athlete to reach for more, to grow more, to achieve more. Help us to continue to strengthen minds, build character, and celebrate together as one Crusader nation. Because when we commit together, we win together. Join us, Crusaders together.
For the first time since 1956, Holy Cross will play a football game at Fenway Park. Don't miss the historic day at the home of the Red Sox, Saturday, November 22nd, when the Crusaders host Georgetown in the Patriot League season finale. Get your tickets now at goholycross.com/Fenway. I'm Kevin Gehl, voice of the Crusaders, and this is Sader Stories, the official podcast of Holy Cross Athletics. As part of the Aspire plan for the college, Crusader student athletes are embracing community service in and around Worcester. This includes internships, research, and community service events on Civic Engagement Day to create a year-round bond with the community. Our next guest recently volunteered on Civic Engagement Day with the United Way, and she's here to share more of her experience with Holy Cross women's tennis. Ava Lannigan, thanks so much for joining us, and welcome to Sader Stories.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
In addition to competing in tennis, you're a bio and music double major. That's a lot on your plate. What does it take to be a well-rounded student athlete today at Holy Cross?
I would say the most important thing is organization, like in your time. I love having my calendars and like having my to-do list. And I genuinely think if I didn't, I wouldn't even know what I was supposed to be doing within the next hour. But it really helps to have like my day scheduled out. So I'm a Google Calendar fiend.
Yeah, I'm with you. I live with my iCal. Each Holy
hmm
Cross athletic team hosted a unique community outreach project on Civic Engagement Day. That was back on November 4th, Election
Yeah.
Day. What was your day like with the United Way?
So we went to Pernet Family Health Center, which I believe our team went to 2 years ago. So I'm a sophomore, so I wasn't with them when they did it last, but I heard from a lot of them that it was a unique experience to be able to come back to it. But when we went, we were welcomed with open arms. They were really excited to have us there. It was women's tennis, men's tennis, and I believe men's lacrosse was there as well. They started us off inside, and we were painting. It's essentially it's like a food pantry
Hmm.
where people can come in and they have different services for different communities in and around Worcester. And so we kind of tried to, I don't know, make it more presentable and just kind of give it a new life through like what we were doing through like the painting. And then we were cleaning up outside as well, to make it welcoming and have a greater appearance from the outside.
How rewarding was it to see what you achieved, not just as a team, but with other Holy Cross student athletes as well?
It's a unique experience because you don't like that's not a team that we're typically involved in, like men's
Hmm.
lacrosse, right? But it's really interesting to see that like once we all have a common goal, we're all able to work together and we were able to step aside from our typical like day-to-day life and actually put ourselves aside and serve other people, which is a unique experience. And it was really it brings you a lot of gratitude, I would say is like the most it's a very humbling experience. And I think it's something that everybody should participate in at least once if they have the opportunity to.
When we talk about the Aspire plan and that key
Mhm.
pillar of service here at Holy Cross, I really feel like that separates the Holy Cross experience from so many other schools. I mean, you're so focused on classes, like you said, you're so focused on your own individual sport. But how do you feel that your experience as a Crusader delivers on some of those early promises when you were recruited about, Holy Cross being a more well-rounded experience?
I definitely think that those promises have come to fruition. And I think it's especially prominent for a lot of the student athletes. It's a very big community to be a Crusader and it means something. It doesn't just mean, oh, you're a student athlete, right? It has kind of this weight behind it that you're expected to be a certain type of citizen who comes to the table providing like themselves and all that they can give, whether that be for your academics, whether it be for your sport, but also for your community at large. And I think that that's very prominent from the first time you step on campus with your team early on in the year. We're doing all these different types of service. There's a competition to see who can do the most service. I think you don't find that at a lot of other
Yeah.
schools. And I think it's really unique, and it challenges you and it drives you to just be a better person. And it's helpful to have that community surrounding you and know that you're not doing it alone. You're doing it with 500 plus other kids on campus who are just like you, which is really amazing.
I love that competition to drive the student
Yeah.
athletes to be out in the community, to support each
Yeah.
other, attending each other's games. I
Yep.
did want to ask you
Mhm.
about the team aspect of this as well, because
Sure.
tennis is such an individual sport. How
Sure. Yeah.
important are things like this to build a camaraderie and a teamwork when a lot of times you're out on the court on your own?
I would say it's one of the most important aspects because sure, it's an individual sport. I mean, of course, we have doubles where you can have two people
Right.
sometimes, but it's important to build that camaraderie because you need those people cheering you on. Because since tennis is such a mental game and you get so in your head sometimes that you need your teammates to be like, I know they're here for me, I know they're supporting me, and I know that they have my back. So to build those connections with your team, just kind of laugh with them, to be doing something to build gratitude and build who you are as a person and your moral character alongside your teammates, it goes a long way, especially for an individual sport. Just to know that when you are out on the court alone, they're right there with you.
Civic Engagement Day started as a one-time opportunity for college athletes to get involved on Election Day. Holy Cross
Yep.
has tried to make this a year-round endeavor, and it's certainly starting to grow. Everyone we've talked to so far has said their teams are already looking ahead to their next projects or staying connected with schools or programs. What's on the docket for Crusader Tennis as you look ahead?
We try to do a lot of like they have the Sunday cleanups quite often, and I think we're actually looking into doing one this week, and they have one on November 16th, and it's early in the morning, and you meet at Worcester House, which is right near right off the campus from school, and you just go around to the neighborhood and you're cleaning up the trash and just making it more beautiful. Like it's your home. You want to make sure that for you and for everyone driving through or walking through that they have a place that they can come that they know is loved and cared for.
I think you just hit on one of the key aspects of this entire endeavor. It's to treat not just the campus, but Worcester as home.
Yeah.
Think of it
Yeah.
as a home for all of you.
Sure. Yeah.
Lastly, Ava, I wanted to ask you, you just wrapped up your fall season of tennis. What lies
Mhm.
ahead for Crusader Tennis as you prep for the spring matches? They'll be here before you know it.
No, I know. We start early. We start on in late January. I want to say like January 20th, which is a really early season for us. So right now we're in our off season, but that doesn't mean that we're done or that we can't do anything. We're still training. We up our lift, so we're doing lift 3 times instead of 2 times a week. There's a minimum hours so we can only do, or maximum amount of hours, so we can only do up to 8 for practicing. But we're using every one of those hours to our advantage. The team's grown a lot this year. Our new recruits are amazing, and just the dynamic of the team is wonderful. We're all like really good friends, which is such an amazing thing. So just working on that team dynamic, our individual skills, and just getting ready and getting that mental mindset just to go into a season in January. And we're really excited.
We love to hear it. Ava Lannigan, thanks again for joining us, and thanks for sharing in Civic Engagement Day, not just on the day, but continuing going forward.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
My thanks to everyone for tuning in. We'll be back soon with another episode of Satyr Stories. Until then, we ask that you tell your fellow Crusaders about Satyr Stories, available anytime on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you love hearing stories from Crusader student athletes, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Thanks again for tuning in to Satyr Stories. I'm Kevin Gehl. Go Cross Go.